They have just told me that Shemai had Nubian features, which means that their ruling family was probably Nubian, and that was unexpected.
Examining Shemai's anatomy closely, the thickness of his bones and the shape of his nasal cavity, the anthropologists think he was a black African, likely from neighboring Nubia. A huge revelation that challenges the prevailing image of the Egyptian ruling class.
We always thought the ancient Egyptian elite were Mediterranean type.
For the first time in human history, it has finally been proven that many ancient Egyptian rulers and elites were actually black. In a groundbreaking discovery, anthropologists found a rare burial containing a 4,000-year-old Egyptian coffin with an untouched mummy. As they examined hieroglyphic markings on the coffin, they uncovered something surprising. The person in the coffin, identified as Shemai, was not an ordinary Egyptian. He was a high priest from the elite family, renowned for founding cities in the ancient civilization of Kemet, located along the Nile River in northeast Africa, known today as modern-day Egypt. But it wasn't just Shemai's prestigious lineage that captured the attention of researchers. It was his physical features that truly astonished them. Through detailed analysis of his skeletal remains, experts concluded that Shemai likely possessed Nubian features, affirming that this ancient Egyptian elite was of African descent and was indeed black. This shocking revelation challenges the long-held belief that ancient Egyptian elites were exclusively of Mediterranean descent. The coffin's markings also confirmed that Shemai's father was a powerful governor of the region of Upper Kemet, and his mother was the daughter of the founder of that region. That founder was Senusret I, a man who was actually the right arm of the pharaoh of Kemet at the time. What's even more astonishing is the fact that all of this happened more than a millennia before the 25th dynasty, where the black pharaohs dominated and revolutionized Egypt. This means that long before, black rulers in Egypt had always existed. For too long, the story of ancient Egypt has been whitewashed, its true origins obscured by false narratives of Mediterranean superiority. But the truth cannot be buried forever. Join us today as we explore the past and uncover the shocking truth about Egypt's black pharaohs and ancient civilization. Before we proceed, remember to click the like button to support us. Share these eye-opening videos with your family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel. By subscribing, you'll stay updated on new videos and also help us grow further. Now, let's travel back in time as we uncover the truth about Egypt's ancient black rulers. As evidenced by the findings surrounding Shemai and his lineage, the roots of ancient Egypt run deep in the soil of Africa, far from the shores of the Mediterranean. Ancient Egypt has been whitewashed in historical and popular representations for various reasons, including colonial and eurocentric influences. During the colonial era, European scholars often portrayed ancient Egyptians as more closely related to Europeans than to Africans to legitimize European colonial rule in Africa. Luckily, modern scholarship has debunked this interpretation, emphasizing the diverse and multicultural nature of ancient Egyptian society. The African roots of Egyptian civilization can no longer be denied. In fact, the Egyptian Sphinx itself screams the African roots of Egypt's rulers. Early accounts from French scholar Volney and others describe the Sphinx to have African or Negro features, with thick lips, wide cheekbones, a protruded maxilla. It does not resemble the facial features of the white race. This characterization has also been echoed by Afrocentric scholars such as Dubois, Diop, and Asante, who perceive the Sphinx's face as black or negroid. American geologist Robert M. Schoch also suggests that the Sphinx exhibits African qualities, contrasting it with the face of Khafre, one of ancient Egypt's pharaohs. There were many black pharaohs with their distinct African features that cannot be argued. From the Archaic period to the Late period, ancient Egyptian rulers exhibited features that indicate their African heritage. During the Archaic period, rulers like Nama, Zosa, and Huni displayed signature negroid features such as flat, stubby noses, wide cheekbones, and thick lips. Moving into the Old Kingdom, pharaohs like Khufu, Djedefre, and Pepi I continued to exhibit these distinct features, affirming their African descent. In the Middle Kingdom, pharaohs like Mentuhotep II and Senusret I maintained their negroid features, further solidifying their African heritage. Even during the New Kingdom, rulers like Ahmose and Thutmosis I displayed unmistakable negroid characteristics, including thick lips and wide noses. As Egypt transitioned through different periods, the prominence of Negroid features varied among rulers. While some, like Amenemhat III and Ramses II, displayed clear Negroid traits, others, like Horemheb and Seti I, exhibited features more commonly associated with Caucasians. Despite these variations, the overall picture suggests a strong African influence in ancient Egyptian rulership. Pharaohs like Ramses III and Susenes I continued to exhibit Negroid features, reaffirming their black heritage. Even in the late period, pharaohs like Taharqa and Tantamani maintained their distinct African features, showcasing the enduring legacy of black pharaohs in Egyptian history. In 2012, a laboratory called DNA Tribes released the DNA results of Pharaoh Amanhotep III and Pharaoh Tutankhamun. The results showed that they had the same DNA as people from Great Lakes and southern Africa. This is DNA evidence showing that these ancient Egyptian rulers were in fact black African people. Meanwhile, another laboratory called the Zinc Unit discovered that Ramses III's DNA also belongs to the sub-Saharan Africans, particularly West Africa. All of this evidence overwhelmingly supports the presence of black pharaohs in ancient Egypt, with their African features serving as a testament to their heritage and legacy. Meanwhile, the portrayal of ancient Egyptians in popular media and culture has often been influenced by prevailing racial biases and stereotypes. We need to recognize and address these historical distortions in order to present a more accurate and inclusive understanding of ancient Egypt and its rulers. Despite the evidence that ancient Egyptians were blacks, the long-standing tradition of whitewashing ancient Egypt continues. It's nothing new, even if it's awfully tired and manipulative. Here's baby Moses being rescued from the Nile, in a rather inaccurate depiction of the inhabitants of Kemet at the time. All of this begs the question, do modern Egyptians even look close to the ancient Egyptians? Well, the answer is no. Just take a look at the relics that the media hides from the public. A lot of them are black. Take this model of ancient Egyptian soldiers, for example. This was found in the tomb of Meseti, who was a local governor of Asyut, an ancient city of Upper Egypt, at the end of the First Intermediate Period and the beginning of the Middle Kingdom. The group consists of 40 soldiers arranged in 10 lines. They are brown, indicating a strong tan in their skin. Meanwhile, this was found at the Mastaba Chapel of Hetefereket of the 5th Dynasty. The art portrays individuals with features that have African properties. There are many other relics like this. We just haven't heard of most of them, because history has always had a bias towards the white race. If you're enjoying the video so far, give us your support by liking and sharing it with your friends and family. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more fascinating insights into the Black history. Your support motivates us to continue bringing you high-quality content. Thank you for being a part of our community. It's interesting to note that the reversal of the whitewashed history did not originate from European scholars. Instead, it emerged from the efforts of a few lesser-known black scholars in America starting from the 1920s. Among notable figures included J.A. Rogers, William Leo Hansberry, John G. Jackson, and the prominent Webb Du Bois. However, the most influential figure in restoring Egypt's black heritage came from across the Atlantic. Cheikh Anta Diop, a Senegalese scholar, was a key proponent in uncovering the truth about ancient Black Egypt. In 1946, Diop spent 15 years mastering physics while also delving into African history, Egyptology, linguistics, anthropology, economics, and sociology. Equipped with a comprehensive knowledge base, Diop developed a method of inquiry that focused on African perspectives. His arguments advocating for an African origin of Egyptian civilization gained widespread recognition due to the intelligence and persuasiveness of his ideas. Diop's contributions paved the way for a new approach to African historiography. Here are some remarkable discoveries of Cheikh Anta Diop, who recently passed away. The primary evidence supporting the black origins of Egyptian civilization is derived from the Egyptians themselves. They referred to their land as Kemet, meaning the Black Land, and identified themselves as Kemu, literally translating to the blacks. Their term for the lands to the south, Kenti, also referred to the Sudanic peoples residing there, signifying first foremost beginning origin chief. Moreover, the Egyptians' linguistic orientation suggests a southern perspective, as their word for east is synonymous with left and west with right. This indicates a southward orientation, consistent with viewing the land of their origins. Further evidence lies in their anthropomorphic representations of the sun's journey, which rises on the left side of the sky goddess Nut, symbolizing a southern heaven despite Egypt's northern hemisphere location. Inscriptions often reference Egyptian origins and point to Punt, which is modern-day Somalia and northern Kenya, as the ancestral homeland. Inner Africa, called Taneta, or the Land of the Gods, evoked reverence and nostalgia in the Egyptians. More evidence of Egypt's origins comes from the genealogy of Noah in Genesis. Noah's 3 sons are Ham, Shem, and Japheth, the ancestors of the 3 main branches of humankind known to the biblical writers. Ham is indubitably the ancestor of the black race. His name comes from the Egyptian Kam, meaning black. His sons are Misraim, which is the Hebrew term for Egypt, Cush, which translates to Ethiopia, Canaan, which is Palestine, and Phut, which stands for Punt or East Africa. Though allegorical on one level, the Old Testament writers accurately reflected known ethnic relationships of antiquity by placing the Egyptians in the black or African branch of humanity. In the 2001 Oxford Encyclopedia, Egyptologist Stuart Tyson Smith wrote, "Any characterization of race of the ancient Egyptians depends on modern cultural definitions, not on scientific study. Thus, by modern American standards, it is reasonable to characterize the Egyptians as black, while acknowledging the scientific evidence for the physical diversity of Africans." Evidence from ancient Egyptian art supports the notion that they were of black African descent. Additionally, accounts from Greek and Roman travelers and historians, including Herodotus, who visited Egypt, describe the Egyptians as black. Herodotus specifically noted their dark skin and curly hair, pointing out that circumcision was a practice common to Egyptians, Ethiopians, and Colchians, suggesting a shared cultural and physical characteristic among these people. Despite efforts to whitewash ancient Egyptian history, there are unquestionably notable pharaohs who are recognized as black and are firmly established in historical records. The Nubian kings, known as the Black Pharaohs, ruled during the 25th dynasty from around 760 to 656 BCE. The Nubians are of African origin as they form an indigenous ethnic group native to the Nile Valley region in Africa. Originating from the Kingdom of Kush, located in present-day Sudan, these rulers conquered and unified Egypt, establishing a profound cultural exchange and a revival of Egypt's once-fading glory. The 25th dynasty began with King Pi, who conquered Memphis, Egypt's capital, in 727 BC. He declared himself pharaoh, establishing Kushite rule. Shebitku, his successor, secured Kushite control after defeating the rival 24th dynasty. Later kings like Shabaka, Taharqa, and Tanutamun further solidified the power of Black Pharaohs over Egypt. The Black Pharaohs left a lasting architectural mark by constructing new temples and enhancing existing ones. According to Caroline H. Armstrong, Taharqa was the most prolific builder among them. He undertook ambitious projects like expanding the Temple of Amun at Karnak in Thebes, demonstrating his dedication to revitalizing Egyptian religious sites. The Kushite rulers of Egypt brought back pyramid building, creating impressive tombs across the land. They started constructing their own pyramids around 751 BC at El Kuru, with Pi, the first ruler of the 25th dynasty, being buried there. More pyramids followed at the Nuri site. These Nubian pyramids, inspired by Egyptian designs from around 1550 to 1069 BC, mirrored the style and symbolism of ancient Egypt. Interestingly, more Nubian pyramids still stand today, showing their lasting durability. The revival of pyramid building by the 25th dynasty not only revived ancient Egyptian burial traditions, but also highlighted the close ties between Nubia and Egypt. This connection also helps us further recognize the black heritage of ancient Egyptian rulers, as the rulers of the 25th dynasty were predominantly of Nubian descent. The construction of pyramids by these rulers serves as tangible proof of the African roots of Egyptian civilization. With all of that said, it's crystal clear that we've uncovered a treasure trove of evidence supporting the black heritage of ancient Egyptian rulers. From the jaw-dropping revelations about figures like Shemai to the awe-inspiring legacy left by the Nubian pharaohs, we've barely scratched the surface of Egypt's rich tapestry. But here's the thing. The story of ancient Egypt isn't just about grand temples and towering pyramids. It's about the people who built them, who ruled over vast kingdoms, and who left a great mark on human history. And it makes us proud to say that many of those rulers and civilians were black. The whitewashing of ancient Egyptian history, though persistent, cannot withstand the weight of historical evidence and scholarly analysis. The portrayal of ancient Egyptians in popular media and culture has often been influenced by racial biases and stereotypes, perpetuating a distorted view of history. However, the truth cannot be buried forever. By uncovering the rich and diverse tapestry of ancient Egyptian civilization, we not only honor the contributions of its black rulers, but also challenge outdated narratives that seek to diminish their significance. It is through embracing the full spectrum of Egypt's cultural heritage that we can truly appreciate its profound impact on human history. As we continue to explore and celebrate the achievements of ancient Egypt, we hope that everyone can strive to amplify marginalized voices and perspectives that have been overlooked for far too long. By doing so, we honor the legacy of those who came before us and pave the way for a more inclusive understanding of our shared history. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, leave a comment sharing your thoughts, and subscribe to our channel for more fascinating content on Black history and power. Stay curious and proud. We'll see you in the next video.